Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. I'm going to take you through my entry in QBTS from June 2nd, 2025. Now, to my mind, QBTS is one of the strongest momentum leaders in the market right now in a very strong theme that is quantum computing. So I got an entry around its 10-day EMA on a pullback utilizing my in Morello setup. That's the intraday mean reversion long, so the in Morello. So what I'm going to do is teach you the in Morello setup for how to enter these leading momentum stocks on pullbacks to key daily moving averages. I really like using the in Morello around the 10-day EMA and or 21-day EMA for the strongest of the strong stocks in the market, especially if there's an intraday flush, then a reversal like we saw on QBTS. So let me start taking you through the trade from a daily chart, and then we'll go tactical onto the 5-minute chart. So on the daily chart, we can see that QBTS here is in the context of a very strong uptrend. So it's in a really nice strong uptrend, pulling back to the 10-day EMA in a potential high tight flag formation that's developing here. We can also see a very positive earnings reaction. We can see there's high relative volume as well. This black line is the 30-bar average on the volume, so it's many multiples of that. I call this bullish synchronicity, when the positive price action is being confirmed by large relative volume. We then see the stock continues to push up here, and note the consistent and persistently high volume versus the 30-day average. Do you see this? I pointed to this with the blue arrows. Note the persistently and consistently high volume. This is indicating to me that there is a lot of accumulation. There's a lot of interest in this stock. There is a lot of demand in this stock as well, because it's been able to go from circa $6 to topping out at nearly $20 in the space of 3 to 4 weeks. There's a lot of interest here. Then on the pullback on the daily chart, what do you notice happens to the volume? See this? For 4 days during this pullback in here, what do you see? So the stock's pulling back to the 10-day EMA, and note how the volume is drying up. What is this indicating to me? There's lessening supply. There's not that much supply. It doesn't look like the bigger boys and girls who have been piling in during this rally are rushing for the exits on the pullback. Quite the contrary, because we're not seeing that high volatility that I would associate with distributional characteristics. This is an orderly pullback. I'm not seeing big kind of gap fade, bearish engulfing candlesticks, huge volume coming through where it's trading 300 million shares and you've got a big gap and fade, bearish engulfing candlestick. I'm not seeing that. This is just an orderly low volume on a relative basis pullback towards the 10-day EMA. So then what happens on June 2nd, you get the in Morello setup. So in Morello is an acronym for intraday mean reversion long. Intraday mean reversion long. So what I'm then doing is I'm utilizing the 5-minute chart with a couple of custom settings. So I've got the MACD set up here, but it's a custom setting. Okay, I'll pop it up now. I'm using 629, fast length 6, slow length 20, source close, signal smoothing 9, EMA. Okay, I'm putting that on the 5-minute chart. I'll link to this specific TradingView layout below in the comment section. Okay, so if you want to go and use this specific TradingView layout and you're a member of TradingView, then you'll just be able to load this up and use this layout, okay? But I'm using the custom MACD settings. I've got the volume there. I've obviously then got my intraday, my daily moving averages plotted on the intraday charts. This is an indicator. Search my name on TradingView and you'll find it. It's really helpful, okay, because what I'm looking for is I'm looking for signs, evidence of supportive action around the 10-day EMA, okay? Leading stocks, if you go back and look at QBTS from Q4 2024 last year, you'll see numerous bounces during that big advance. The other quantum stocks as well, IONQ, RGTI, QUBT, various other ones as well, okay? When they were rocking rolling in Q4 2024, a lot of fours there, aren't there? There were various pullbacks to the 10-day EMA and or 21-day EMA and just bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback, bounce, pullback, bounce. But given the 20-day average daily range percentage of these stocks, right now QBTS is 14.4%. Oftentimes you have to utilize intraday tactics, whether that be in Morellos, whether that be opening range breakouts, to help control initial risk relative to potential reward and also the stock's 20-day ADR percentage. So what we can see here is this 10-day EMA is plotted. So this is the daily moving averages on the intraday charts as well. So you see this black line that's running across here at around about 1580. Can you see the black line that's running across here on my daily chart? That there is the 10-day EMA price level. So what happens intraday, and you can see it here on the daily chart, you can see this flush. Okay, I call this a shakeout demand tail. See this? There's a shakeout demand tail, variation of hammers, doji dragonflies to Curie lines in terms of Japanese candlestick lingo. Okay, you get this shakeout demand tail that shakes out underneath the 10-day EMA, also shakes out recent lows. We're going to talk about that soon. And you can see that there, reflected on the 5-minute chart. See that big shakeout? It's down and then boom like this, with the sound effect, boom. See that? Shakeout demand tail there, pop in the volume. Big intraday shakeout underneath the 10-day EMA. Like it. Loads of stop losses I think are getting triggered on this bar. Why? Because look how I've shaded this pink zone, marking the low of the day. Backtrack that out. See how it's undercutting the last week or so of price action? Okay, anyone kind of buying in here, and here, and here, and here, potentially in here as well, and place their stop loss low of the day, they've just got shaken out. It's why I call it a shakeout demand tail. See the lingo? Shakeout demand tail. So not only is it shaking out underneath the 10-day EMA, which is a really important daily moving average for these momentum stocks, it's also shaking out under the last week or so of lows. And what do you notice about the volume? Not that high on a relative basis versus the 30-bar average. This tells me this probably isn't institutions and the bigger boys getting shaken out. It's probably them trying to shake out retail traders. So I see the shakeout, and then I see the turn coming. Now, I like to enter when price is reclaiming the 5-minute 6 EMA after these kind of shakeouts. The orange line is the 5-minute 6 EMA. See that? So my entry is here, okay, 1587, okay, right there. Now, what I could have done, I was a little bit early, but I started to see the strength coming through. I really like QBTS. I think it's one of the best trading stocks in the market right now. And back half of last year in Q4 of 2024, there's those fours again. Okay, in Q4 of 2024, really good trading stock, like really good opportunities. So I see the strength. I see the strength of the other quantum stocks, IONQ, RGTI, QUBT. There's my stutter, QUBT as well. I see the strength, and I go a little bit early. Okay, if I wanted to wait for the actual Immorello setup, it would be about 2 bars later, this bar here. Okay, it'd be this bar here, and you start to see the turn coming through. So I went a little bit early on this one because I really like the flush, the shakeout, strength of the reversal, and the intraday relative strength that was being shown. And my view on QBTS is one of the hottest momentum leader type stocks in the market. So then I have a decision, right? Okay, I can utilize, I'm both a swing trader and an intraday trader. I can utilize these intraday tactics to get positioned in these leading stock. Then if I think it is prudent and the market environment warrants it, I can then hold these as I would a swing trade. So I can then look to get positioned and try and ride these stocks for huge moves, especially the ones with the high 20-day ADR percentages. Okay, so my initial stop loss here is around about 4.5%-ish, okay? Relative to the 20-day ADR percentage of 14.4%, that's about a third. So oftentimes I look for my initial stop loss to be a third to a half the 20-day ADR percentage. If I'm trading Immorellos or opening range breakouts, oftentimes it can be a quarter to a third. So that's just a useful risk metric, okay? If I'm trading an Immorello on NVIDIA or a PLTR, I don't want a 4.5% stop loss. Why? Because the risk to potential reward relative to the 20-day ADR percentage doesn't really make sense. But here with QBTS, it's around about a third versus the 20-day ADR percentage. I like that as a metric. If you go back and analyze how QBTS can move as well, okay? If you go look down here, okay? QBTS has recently run up 166%. I don't know whether it's going to be able to do that again from my entry, but if it can and stay above its 10-day EMA, my potential risk of 4.5% relative to the potential reward is absolutely huge. This is about looking for those asymmetric risk to reward trading opportunities. This is why I love taking advantage of what I call the Immorello intraday mean reversion long setup in these momentum leaders as they pull back, find support, and then look to bounce around key daily moving averages. So I could just manage this one on an intraday basis and just exit towards the close for a nice gain there, around about 8% or so, about 2 times my initial risk. Or I could look to hold this one for a much bigger move. And I think, okay, QBTS, if you're going to get going, if the market's going to act well, may you be able to go up 25%, 50%, 100%, 150%. Why not? Let's find out. As Darvis said, I let my stop loss decide. So then I can look to use a key daily moving average as a trailing stop loss. Or some of you may have watched a blueprint video on the trading on my YouTube channel, where if a stock starts getting short-term extended, I could just go low the day, low the day, low the day, low the day, and use the low the day approach as my trailing stop on all or part of the position. It depends. But that there is a little trade that I had in QBTS for a little intraday mean reversion long trade around the 10-day EMA. Still long this stock. So let's see how the action unfolds. If you want to learn more about these type of setups, Immorello stocks that I'm watching, then you may want to head over to my platform. There's a trial available if you are interested in that. Thank you very much for watching this video, supporting the YouTube channel, and I will see you in a future video.